In this video, we will talk about how to export a file from the base design model to an Excel sheet, where we can define the model data on the Enterprise Studio side by adding meta objects and their meta relations. After that, we can map all of these elements to an Excel worksheet. I will review in the last of this video a warning of the population relation. It's a common warning or common error. Precisely to get an Excel sheet from the model, you should do 6 steps. These steps, as shown, are adding connection, defining mapping, configuring tables, adding meta objects and meta relations, creating the relations between the mapping elements, and in the last, we can click and export the file. First of all, we must add the new connection model. That's from the root, right click, and create new connection model. Let's rename it to test connection. After that, in the connection view, right click and add the new Excel sheet connection, which is the basis for the mappings. We can rename this by clicking F2, and this will be the name of the Excel sheet. Let's name it export my project. As I said, this name will be the name of the exported Excel sheet. And we should click on the properties of this model and select the model context, which we will deal with, this one. Take care, it's an important step to select the model in the model package that should act as a route for looking up and creating meta objects and meta relations in the context of this connection. We know we have two kinds of mapping. The first kind of mapping is regular table, and the second kind is cross-relation table. In this video, I will show you the regular table only and its common error. And I will create two tables, one for the actors and roles, and one for the business process and the application component. So I will create two mapping tables and rename the first one to actors to roles. And the second one will be application component to business process. After naming the mapping tables, which will be referring to the Excel worksheets, take note that Excel has a few limitations with the worksheets naming, so be careful in it. If you are going to use the connection in importing, make sure the name of the mapping and tables matches the name of the Excel worksheets you want to import from. Sure, it's recommended if you are going to use the connection for import, you can quickly export an empty file instead of adding naming manually. Then we can double click on the table to configure these tables. As we see, open the table by double clicking on the mapping. It will come with a new diagram. It's an empty mapping table. We can determine the number of needed columns for the Excel worksheet. We can add additional columns from this point, this one, this plus sign, and you can delete it if we add more than we need. And we can rename it also by pressing F2. And this name, like relation, it will be the name of the column in the Excel worksheet. By the way, you have two ways to name the columns. It will be named automatically in case you drag and drop the meta object or meta relation, or you can name it but by what you need of names. As we said, the fourth step is adding the meta elements. This table will be for actors and roles. There is the actors, any one of these, drag and drop here, and this is the roles, drag and drop also here. We can arrange the place like this. Also the relation between business actors and business rule is association. So we drag and drop it here. Here we are in the step 5, which is creating relations between the mapping elements. Select the meta element and by the smart connector, drag it to the table. It's only one kind relation. The same I will do here. Note that the table will take the name of the object. And this is the relation. Then by the smart meta element in the objects, we must add the from to relation. Here we can find the relation from to. It will be to the actor and come from the business rule. So that's mapping for the first table. By the way, there's an error or a warning, and I will let it now and deal with it in the last of the video. Now I will close and go to the second table. It will be for application component and business process. Here we will add the connection and we'll drag the business process, also the application component. This is the meta objects. This will be here. And this is the business process. And we need the relation, which is serving. Also, we will put it here. Drag the relation. And here also we need the relation from and to. It will be from business process. to application component. That's it. Now we finished. We finish the first 5 steps. Last step is to making the export. And now we will trigger the error. Let's do it. Here I will select the place I will export the file here. That's it. That's the warnings. We have 4 warnings. If we return back to the tables, we have 2 warnings. These warnings is a common warnings about the population column. And to solve this in one step, first of all, you should know the population column is the column that defines the population of an export. The object in that column or this column will be as a starting point for the export, and this will be solved by this link. We set this column, the relation column, as a population column here, and also in the another table here. Now we can do the validation, but we can clear first here also. Now we validate, no warnings all over the project. Now it's easy to make the export. We will export here. Okay. Start. Finish the export. Now it's easy to browse and go to the file and browse it. As we see, we have in the Excel sheet 2 sheets. First worksheet for applications with business process, application component with business process, and this is the relation. Here actors with roles, and this is the relation, and this is for source info to know which package. That's a file, and that's the end. See you. Keep yourself safe and stay at home.